I will be the chair for this session.
Everyone, my name is Liu Liming, and I'm going to present our work titled Assessing the Impact of ISPDe-peering, a case study of Cogent disconnection from Russian networks. Let's begin with the background and motivation of our work. In February 2022, the Russia-Ukraine conflict began. Soon after, Cogent Communications, a Tier-1 internet service provider, voluntarily disconnects from Russian networks. The disconnection happened on March 4, 2022 at 7 o'clock UTC. Cogent's disconnection is a voluntary large-scale ISPDe-peering driven by geopolitical considerations. However, most previous studies about the internet disruptions were mainly about state-imposed shutdowns or spontaneous outages. There was no academic study on Cogent's disconnection or voluntary ISPDe-peering. So we wanted to know what happened to Russian networks after disconnection. Thus we did a data-driven analysis of a large-scale geopolitical ISPDe-peering. We mainly focused on three questions. Firstly, what is the impact on Russian networks? Next, how did Russian networks respond to disconnection, and when did they recover? To answer these questions, we need BGP routing data about Russian networks. So let me show you how we collected and built it. The first step is collecting BGP routing information-based data from March 2021 to March 2024. It includes 11 time points from 1 year before disconnection to 2 years after disconnection. The data came from three sources, including RIS, RouteViews, and PCH. We used all collectors and monitors of these three data sources. After collecting, we faced a challenge, that is direct routing information from Russian ASes is very limited. So we need to extract AS passes that include Russian ASes to simulate a Russian perspective routing table. The last step is splitting prefix to avoid overlapping prefixes. This ensures destination prefixes are exclusive and accurate. Based on routing data we processed, we were ready to identify which Russian ASes connected to Cogent. We find that 6 major Russian ASes had direct BGP connection with Cogent. There are WIN, TransTelecom, RouteNet, Megaphone, INetCom, and Roscom. Those ASes are significant ASes and belong to significant network provider in Russia. Next, let's see what happened to these Russian ASes after disconnection. Our results show that only a subset of Russian ASes were disconnected, while TransTelecom and RouteNet were disconnected because we saw its number of reachable IPs through Cogent dropped to almost 0. We also experienced a significant drop in total reachable IP. In addition, RouteNet was disconnected earlier than official time. However, other ASes were not affected. Megaphone, INetCom, and Roscom, these connected to Cogent, were not affected by the disconnection because we can see their reliance on Cogent were stable after disconnection. But we also find another interesting phenomenon. Megaphone and INetCom reduced their reliance on Cogent at the beginning of the conflict, not after the disconnection. Next, let's look at how these ASes adopted to this disconnection. The affected ASes switched to the longer AS passes. The average AS pass length increased by 0.5 hops after disconnection. This could lead to a higher transmission latency and lower network performance. Now let's look more closely at how each AS responds after the disconnection. We focused on March 5 and midnight UTC, which is 7 hours after after Cogent disconnected. When had a mixed outcome, a large part of its network became unreachable, but it was reroutes the rest of its traffic through other providers like Vodafone or Lumen. But Trans-Telecom was hit more seriously. Most of its connections through Cogent were lost, and it had very limited ability to switch to other providers. RouteNet, on the other hand, had adopted much better. It successfully rerouted most of its traffic through Cogent to another provider like Airline and Lumen, with some minor losses. In addition, disconnections was limited to direct router-to-router links because we find Cogent still appeared in the AS path from Russian ASes. After disconnection, this shows that disconnection were limited to direct links that don't adopt any aggressive actions. Next, let's see how long it took for them to recover. We tracked recovery using 3 metrics: reachable countries, reachable ASes, and reachable IP addresses. We used the week before the disconnection as a baseline and compared to the changes after disconnection. Will has a strong job at the beginning, but recovered almost fully in 24 hours. It stabilized after about 10 days. For Trans-Telecom, it recovered slowly. Its connectivity is still below baseline even after 10 days. RouteNet started degrading earlier, even before March 4. Its recovery was very longer and more delayed. Let me quick wrap up what we get. First, not all Russian networks were disconnected. Only a few that had direct links with Cogent was disconnected with Cogent. Those were affected had to take longer passes, which may have caused some delays. But Cogent didn't block Russian traffic completely. It just stopped the router-to-router links. No aggressive routing, filtering, or prefix blank holding was adopted, and some connections to Cogent were restored over time. So in the end, Cogent's action were mostly symbolic. It made a political statement, but didn't break the internet. This also shows that internet is very resilient, even in tough situations like this one. Networks can adapt quickly. That's all of my talk. Thank you so much for listening.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting work. Any question? Okay, I have a quick question. This is a very good work for analysis, and I wonder, do you have any suggestion how we can mitigate the impact of ISP disconnection, such as this accident like Cogent?
Firstly, we should rely heavily on just one ISP in internet traffic. We should rely on more providers, and we also should establish our we also should establish our reroute passes. So if some ISP disconnect with us, we can still access to internet from other ISP.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. Come here.
Thank you for your talk, and I have two questions. The first is I want to know how did you collect your measurement data, such as the BGP data?
We collect from 3 data sources. That is, then is RIS, RouteViews, and PCH. We use BGP stream to collect all RB data in code.
Okay. My second question is that I want to, may I know what's the motivation for you to do this measurement research?
Because there was no academic study on Cogent's disconnection. This is voluntary ISP de-peering internet disruptions is not a disruption imposed by a government or other natural disasters or technique failures. So I think it is very valuable. It is very valuable to learn what happened on this voluntary ISP de-peering.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's thank our speaker again.